Hey there gang, your Guitar Sage. Today we are going to learn about some right hand muting techniques. So this is kind of a part 2 to muting techniques, and the last video that I just did was on left hand techniques. So we're going to talk about some right hand techniques and how you can use this to create percussive type strums and to just make your cover tunes or your whatever tunes you're doing, if you're writing, to make them more dynamic. And what we mean by dynamic is we mean, sure, that word, we mean that word as being like kind of exciting, but from a musical standpoint, dynamic typically is talking about volume. So so we're using it in both ways here. It creates stops, and it creates some sense of breathing in your music, if you will. Let's say I took a chord progression and I did something like this is chord progression is totally fine. C and A minor. Right, but then let's say I wanted to add some percussion to it, add some mutes. We're going to give it a little bit more dynamic. It's going to breathe a little bit more. So something like this. Okay, so you can hear it sounds a little bit nicer, a little bit almost like there's a snare in there, like a. Okay, so that's kind of what we're emulating, and typically when people are playing acoustic guitar, it's kind of what they're emulating there by muting and doing all sorts of things, like taking their thumb and smacking the strings, or just smacking the top of their guitar. Gives a nice percussive sound and give some dynamics to the playing. So first off, I'll probably do a more simple strum than what I did just now, because I know there's a lot of newbies that are watching. You may not be able to play a strum like that. Others of you will be able to. That's great. We're working with all types here, so just hang in there, right? If you are having any issues with this sort of strumming, or would like to further your strumming or anything like that, go to YourGuitarSage.com. We've got a great ebook there that will really help you with all that. And we'll help you with all the techniques that I'm teaching on here, songs and that sort of thing. So check that out, and you can find out more about that book there. Okay, so let's talk what I'm doing here very specifically. Okay, so in this one, let's say the song's in 4, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say the song's in 4, and each measure, of course, 4 beats. Then here, what I was doing, I was doing a mute on beat 2. So like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. You know, hard to count and play that at the same time. But let's say I said I would simplify it anyhow. Let's do this. Let's go 1, 2. Very simple, but what we're doing there is we're strumming on 1, muting on 2, strumming on 3 and 4. Okay, so let's talk about the mute first, and then we'll talk about integrating it into a more complicated rhythm. Okay, so what I'm doing is with the right hand, with this part of my hand, karate chop. I don't think that's an actual karate term, chopping. I don't think, well, it doesn't sound very intimidating to be chopped, but let's say it is. It's a chop. Okay, we're gonna call it a chop. We're muting. Okay, some people call it a choke. You can also choke, left hand or right hand. And so you hit the chord, take this part of your hand right there, lay it on the strings. It's as simple as that. Make sure that you're doing this accurately, because I see students come in and they're hitting all different places on the guitar. Don't confuse this. Don't make this complicated. It's extremely simple if you just think this part of your hand hits this part of your guitar right there. Nothing else. Don't try to do anything else. If you do, you're going to spend a bunch of wasted time. So take that part. Don't hit it sideways or anything like that. Straight down like that. So the simple exercise would be like. Okay, now I take my pinky and let it hit the guitar. I don't know if I did that purposely at some point or what, but I like the sound a bit better. If you didn't want that, you'd get and just a mute. But something nice about that kind of smack against the string or against the guitar. You know. Another thing you can do is sometimes I'll take my whole hand and smack the guitar like this. Now this way, you're smacking the strings against the neck of the guitar, which if you've ever turned a snare drum over, it's the drum that is between the drummer's knees. It's that really loud snare, that really loud drum. If you flip one over, you'll see a bunch of wires running underneath the snare drum. That itself is called the snare, and it's smacking up against the drum, which gives it that noise, so this just kind of emulates a snare, if you will. Okay. So that's what you can do there. Now, if I wanted to do like on the 2 and 4, I might go. Let's see. Let's see. 1, 2. And the most common rhythms are going to be hitting on the 2 and the 4, or just the 2. You can do it on the 1 and 3, it's a little less common. So, here's a little experiment to do, kids. Get out your ebook, go to all those strumming rhythms that I teach you there. I think there's like 25 different strumming rhythms for all different, genres of music, and pop and rock and country. Break that out, and as an experiment, or not an experiment, but an exercise, practice, try taking the 2 out of each one of those and muting it, or doing some sort of smack on the string. So if it's like a 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and we've seen that one a lot. We've talked about that one a lot. So if I'm doing 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and then just instead of a 2, instead of strumming on the 2, smack your strings and mute it, just like that. Okay. So like let's see. Okay, you can do this with finger picking too, like a. Okay, so you can also do it on the 2 and the 4. So on those exercises in the ebook, go for it. See what you can come up with. It's a great technique that will give some dynamics to your playing. All right. If you haven't already, go to YourGuitarSage.com, because that's it for this lesson, kids. Go to YourGuitarSage.com. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Go eat your greens. Go help an old lady across the street. Take in a stray animal. Donate to a local charity. Eat organic.